Hey guys, we got the confirmation for the Euphoria updates in version 3.8 for Hissabeth and Jay, so let's go and take a look at them. First, we're gonna take a look into Hissabeth, and her Euphoria update says Ultimate Might Enhanced, Mass Buff, Damage Boost by Debuff Count. Her rank number from Euphoria update says Eternally Inquisitive Effect Enhanced. At the start of the round, if holding at least a certain number of snake stand stacks on yourself, you generate Hiss and consume snake stand stacks. Then gain a certain amount of Moxie. Her rank 2 Euphoria update says the Ouroboros, that is her incantation number 1, gains a new effect or new effects. After attacking, inflict one type of debuff from the collection of debuffs on all enemies. Infinite Recursion gains new effects. That is her incantation number 2. You grant all allies Consciousness Stream for a certain number of rounds. Consciousness Stream is, it increases the ultimate might when attacking for every certain number of debuff types on the target. Further increases ultimate might up to a certain percentage. Eternally Inquisitive Effect Enhanced. When attacking an enemy holding Serpentine Scale, after inflicting Rigidity and recovering Moxie, additionally inflict multiple debuffs from the collection of debuffs on the target. We're gonna keep reading both Hissabeth's and Jay's Euphoria and then make a conclusion at the end of this video. Hissabeth's rank 3 Euphoria says Hiss deals additional mental damage, and when the incantation is at a certain rank, they receive a different ratio of ultimate might bonus. Her rank 4 Euphoria says Experimental Rocketry gains a new effect. That is her ultimate. For every certain number of debuff types on the target, deal additional mental damage, up to a certain number of types. If the target holds more than a certain number of types, this attack's penetration rate is increased and additionally gain more bonus from ultimate might. Okay, so we have a lot of synergy here concerning debuffs, our damage is increased, and mainly the ultimate might of all of our allies and ourselves here with Hissabeth is increased. Now we're gonna move on to Jay. His Euphoria update says Burn Stack Damage Boost, Mass Damage Reduction and Dispel, Counter Enhancement. Let's go read it. His rank 1 Euphoria update says Inside 1 effect is adjusted. When attacking, gain a greater attack percentage. Self becomes immune to burn damage on resolution, and self burn stacks no longer deplete. Inside 3 effect is also adjusted. At the start of the round, based on the number of burn stacks on yourself, for every stack of burn, grant all allies a damage taken reduction increase. Dispel one type of debuff from all allies, excluding your own burn. For every stack of burn, grant all allies a counter damage bonus increase. His rank 2 Euphoria says Hardness Testing effect adjusted. You can see hardness testing here on the right hand side on your screen. It's his debuff incantation. It inflicts more stack of burn on hit now and is treated as a counter. No longer grants allies damage dealt increase, instead deals additional reality damage. His rank 3 Euphoria update says Ultimate Over the Height Street gains a new effect. Deals additional reality damage. For every stack of burn, grant all allies a damage bonus increase. This ultimate no longer takes up the allied spell dock limit. His rank 4 Euphoria update says Heat Treating. You can see the counter incantation on your right hand side of the screen. This one gains new effects. Shield multiplier is further increased. When allies are holding a shield, additional shield value is stacked onto the existing shield up to a certain percentage of yourself's attack. Tempering has new effects. deals additional reality damage, and no longer deals reality damage based on missing HP. After attacking, grants all allies a shield and extends the duration of existing shields, triggering up to a certain number of times per round. After attacking, you grant yourself Moxie up to a certain amount per round. And that's it. Those were the 2 Euphoria updates for Jay and Hissabeth. So let's go a little bit for a conclusion and talk a little bit about these Euphoria updates. Now there is nothing truly that sticks out and that would need further explanation or something. Those are just straight up buffs for their existing kits. For Hissabeth, the situation is the following. This is all about negative statuses, the synergy with those, with debuffs, and you want as many debuffs as possible afflicted onto your opponents. And you increase the ultimate damage, right? Ultimate might increases. That is for a future Euphoria update for Noah. Noah will turn out to be exactly the same thing. And when she gets a Euphoria update, she will be teaming up with Hissabeth and most likely 6, and that is gonna be a brand new ultimate archetype team that synergizes around inflicting a lot of different debuffs. So yeah, like Hissabeth is somewhat viable, and this Euphoria update is of course a buff, and therefore yeah, Hissabeth is a very respectable character now and nothing to sleep on. The true juice though, the true extent of how good this Euphoria update will be, that we will find out when it's time for Noah to receive her Euphoria update. For Jay, that is very questionable. Now look, Jay is not like Hissabeth. Jay is not a respectable character at all. Jay is unplayable garbage. Therefore, his Euphoria update needs to be a huge buff. It needs to be a big increase in everything that he does. This Euphoria, from at least what we can read here, is not that. You can just take the effect here, for example, that you only dispel one type of debuff and not all of them, right? This is also something that Marsha already does herself. The damage increases here, yeah, of course, right? We need to wait for the numbers. Obviously, on this one, the numbers could be huge, but I mean, it's very, very unlikely. If it's reads mediocre and all that you depend on to become viable are numbers, you are not in a good spot. It's very, very unlikely for you to become a very good character. And here's the deal. You play Afterglow, most likely with Beryl. And you not want to remove Isolde from your team, because these two, Beryl and Isolde, have a very nice synergy when it comes to performing follow-up attacks. You do not want to destroy that by removing Isolde from your team and putting Jay in. Now, Jay also has a mechanic here that you apply and increase shields on your team. Do you want to replace Marsha from the Afterglow lineup? Absolutely no way ever, right? This one here is also not gonna be a main DPS kind of Euphoria. Main DPS role for the Afterglow goes to Beryl, and it has the replacement Spathodea. Now, what we could in theory run into the future is double Afterglow, yeah, with Spathodea, Jay, and then whoever. And we have one with like the current Afterglow team, right? But that would also be future music, and is very, very unlikely because we need 2 additional characters instead of just 1. So there we go. This Euphoria update for Jay is not gonna be a best in slot. That is safe to say. So do with that whatever you want. There is a little bit more that I want to talk about. You can see here on your screen that in version 3.8 we will get a new character called Cornerstone. All that we know about Cornerstone is how her animations look like. If we look at her animations, especially the one from her ultimate, then we can make a very likely assumption of her being or belonging to the ultimate archetype as well. That could mean that she is either gonna replace Six in this Noir team, or she is gonna replace Regulator in her team. Right? Very likely. And this would tie into what I'm gonna tell you next. As look, Reverse1999's design philosophy is very consistent. We have this for over 3 years at the point that version 3.8 will come out. And that is that per version, if we pull 4 characters in a version, it's always, every single time, only one of the new characters that we're gonna pull for. We already have the information for Ever Echo, and Ever Echo is an absolute must pull character, as she will be the only sustained character for the brand new instrument archetype. That would lead us to believe, and it is pretty much confirmed, that Cornerstone will be a must skip. And now let me tell you something else that makes how this makes perfect sense. Let me explain that. If you read the Hissabeth Euphoria update, if you take into consideration in what spot Noir is in the metagame, if you know how mediocre at best the 6 Euphoria update is. I just told you the situation with Cornerstone, right? And now look. If Noir gets a Euphoria update and this team becomes a thing, it is first of all gonna battle for a spot in the metagame with Recoleta, of course. If Recoleta would be beaten, then it is up to a battle against Poison for the Noir team. It's very likely to assume this will not be on the level of an Afterglow archetype team. So the best possible spot that we could give this Noir team, it's already pretty much confirmed, trust me. Then it would be like the extended metagame, taking rank 7, excuse me, or maybe join in at rank 8. And that is the best case scenario for the Noir team. And therefore, you know what I just told you about Cornerstone, it would make perfect sense for Cornerstone to then be a must skip, for the Hissabeth Euphoria to not be too fantastic, you know what I mean. And in the end, it would all come perfectly together in the way that I just explained. Only one new character per version is pulled for, that would be Ever Echo, because Cornerstone is not worth your Unilog investment, as the team that she will most likely be played in will not be good enough. Be it replacing Regulator or getting a spot in this Noir team, it will not be the greatest thing ever, and either niche or extended, the part of the extended metagame, but not part of the core, and therefore it's a skip, you know what I mean, unfortunately. But here you go, this was all that I wanted to tell you about when it comes to the new Euphoria updates that we will be getting in version 3.8. I hope that video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel, I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.